So they are here and available to answer any questions, or at least Jamie is. And Tony, okay.
May 8th, 2012.
All right, does anyone
IDA meeting.
have any questions for
James Grant?
Jamie, launch date is still projected to be, we still feel good June, July. I think that one of the biggest roadblocks we have we're looking at, that was something that really for the last
James
month
Grant
has been kind of
speaking.
frustrating, just because we felt like we were kind of getting to a point where we didn't love what we were seeing as far as how it's projected to the consumer. And when you're talking about a consumer-based application, that's critical. And so that has slowed us down a little bit. But I could have today logged in with the VPN and actually entered all this information. So what you're looking at is a screenshot. The reason you see the screenshot is because the VPN still has kind of the old curtains or the old shutters on it as far as design. And so I didn't want to kind of confuse or complicate. I can certainly, probably within the next week or two, I would be able to see this once we make the decision between the two, and actually have you playing with entering this medication, entering this emergency contact, having these permissions accepted. So like the iceberg, that 90% is right on track. It's just a matter of kind of marrying the two.
How long start to finish to get in the building to retrofit it to fit the needs that you're going to have for operations?
I think the big advantage of the Preco building, right, we talk about it as a tech park, not as LifeSync headquarters, obviously. I hope that we fill an 18,000 square foot building in the next few years. If we're adopted by some of the folks that we're talking about adopting, then we may be breaking ground on something new. We estimate probably kind of a safe buffer of about 5,000 square feet. We will be going through the building, kind of we're walking through with Bill to talk layout. There's a couple of things that building is currently, as I understand it, still set single tenancy. So there's a couple of things that have to be retroed and done to make sure that it can be cohabitated commercially. But
Like firewalls and stuff like that?
there's a few things there. The other thing, LifeDash, who is the platform we're built on top of, they actually paid for and have been working. Travis has been kind enough to kind of take the lead on that to have some feasibility studies done on exactly what we can do data-wise inside the building. And so I know he's got some thoughts about monetizing that for Hardy and some different things, but some of the retrofitting also has to do with that. So I think we're at a point where Bill and Travis have been communicating on that. But some of that has been waiting for the data, the feasibility study to know, can we effectively monetize data in Hardin County outside of applications, outside of us storing data here? Is there a way for us to monetize inside the Preco building? So what does it cost to store in Fort Myers? What does it cost to store in Brandon? What does it cost to store in Brandon? And having that done really professionally and done right, so there's a whole kind of goof there. But that's been something we've also been trying to make sure that kind of holds up the retrofitting a little bit, because if we're talking about having some rack space in there, if we're talking about having a small server environment in there, obviously HVACs and layout can get affected pretty quickly. So as I understand it, I know he's up in Philadelphia this week, but I don't know, do you have the report? No. Okay, I know it was nearing completion, that's why I asked. I know probably within this week or hopefully by next, I think we were supposed to get that report. I haven't seen it yet, but I know they were kind of nearing, from everything I've got, kind of nearing completion, so that should help us kind of know what we're doing in there as far as retrofit.
Do you have any actual documented contractors, or however you would say it, partners? That you were talking about partnerships.
Which part are you talking about on our end, or are you talking about the different? I want to make sure I'm understanding the right partnerships, so we've used it in a couple different ways. So we have several partners on the technology side. Are you talking about third-party businesses?
What you're going to be selling this to the people that are going to be partnering with you to use this information?
Yep. No, sir. At this point, we don't. And part of the hold up there, I mean, our approach over the last 6 months has been to kind of lay that groundwork. Obviously, before a large commercial insurer or a large hospital network is going to actually sign paperwork, they want to play with it. And so we're probably a month or so away from being able to probably sign papers. And so our efforts for the last probably 6 months, I'd say, in conjunction with the development going on, is to lay that groundwork to make sure that we are prepared to sit down with those folks, and that we're not starting from scratch once.
What facility do you work out of at the present time? I know you're not in this building here, but do you?
We are sharing, we have, I think, 3 offices inside of the Life Dash building, or the Life Dash office up in Wesley Chapel, Pasco County.
And the grant, the $160,000 a month, how is that, where is that going to? How is it, what is it distributed to?
So what we did when we initially applied, we signed a performance-based mortgage, so that there's 3 or 4 of us that have our name on the line, so that if we run off and don't do what we said we would do, we owe a check to Hardee County. In conjunction with the grant, once the contract was signed, there was a draw schedule that was submitted, I think, September, the actual contract was signed. October, the draw schedule that lays out everything as far as exactly where, pretty much to the penny, the dollars we projected to go. For the most part, they've gone exactly there. There's obviously been nominal changes in things that we were over or under on. Our server environment was a little bit more expensive than we thought, and so we had to dial a couple of things back. But there's a draw schedule that was actually, I believe, a document entered at the October IDA meeting that lays out all of that.
Okay, we'd be able to get that.
You have it.
Okay.
You have it.
Yes, sir.
Is this not somewhat time sensitive? You gotta get, if you don't get there pretty soon, someone else will have this technology and get in ahead of you.
There's 2 questions there, if I can, to differentiate. And the only reason I say that is you can look back. There is always, in fact, Vanessa and I were talking about one the other day. I don't necessarily believe in technology, especially in the applications world, that being number 1 to the market is critical. There is a time urgency, so that's why I say yes, separate that question. As far as somebody getting to the market first, probably the most prominent example is Facebook and MySpace, where MySpace beat Facebook to the market significantly. MySpace was just bought for $57 million in kind of a laughable deal, and Facebook just spent $1 billion, which was kind of a sneeze to them, at a prospective $100